Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping into a completely fascinating, highly structured utopian philosophy. To be precise about our source, 视频内容的来源是生命参源 Life 参源创始人雪峰. That translates to the founder of Life 参源, Xue Feng. Whether you're already familiar with philosophical communes or this is entirely new territory for you, his writings present a radically different worldview that really challenges the foundational values of modern society. Our goal today is to objectively unpack his arguments, step by step, and explore exactly how he constructs this utopian ideal.
Okay, let's jump right in with a provocative question that totally flips our traditional understanding of paradise on its head. For centuries, we've thought of heaven as this ethereal destination reserved for the afterlife, right? But what if it's actually a physical state of being that we can achieve right here, right now, on Earth? By reframing heaven as an earthly possibility, Xue Feng makes this philosophy immediately actionable, rather than just some abstract theory.
To figure out how we actually get to this earthly heaven, we have to look at the absolute foundation of his belief system, and it's built on a really stark dichotomy. On one side, selflessness equals heaven. It brings true happiness and freedom. On the exact opposite side, selfishness equals hell, bringing pain and conflict. There is absolutely no gray area here. The human experience is framed entirely as a direct result of which side of this equation you choose to live on.
Think of it like a giant sliding scale. Your proximity to happiness is completely dependent on shedding your personal greed. His text suggests that if we've somehow forgotten what heaven feels like, or we don't even realize we're living in a state of hell, we just need to measure our own levels of selfishness. The math here is incredibly simple. Subtract your self-interest, and you actively close the distance between yourself and total heavenly bliss.
So, to explain the pure agony of living in that selfish state, he poses a deep philosophical question about our traditional pursuit of material wealth. Basically, why do humans live? Is a whole lifetime really just meant for accumulating more and more stuff? In modern society, we spend decades agonizing over acquisitions, paying off mortgages, grinding at stressful 9-to-5 jobs, chasing bigger houses and better cars. But instead of securing our happiness, he argues this relentless pursuit of more just locks us into a never-ending cycle of despair.
According to these writings, selfishness brings absolutely zero benefits to the individual. None. Just consider the heavy psychological and physical tolls he lists out: constant anxiety, endless friction with the people around you, and a loop of chronic complaining. Because people are so terrified of losing their possessions, they suffer mentally and physically. It paints this really vivid picture of a person with a bitter face, blaming society, constantly sick, and just living in a state of perpetual crisis.
To really drive this point home, he uses a highly relatable real-world example: a completely dysfunctional marriage. Imagine the sheer exhaustion of being in a relationship where you are constantly guarding against a partner's infidelity, or maybe guarding your house against an intruder. That draining, jealous paranoia, that constant state of hypervigilance, well, he argues, that is the exact same emotional torment you put yourself through when you hoard personal possessions and wealth. You literally live in terror that someone's going to take what is yours.
So what's his proposed solution to all this modern misery? The answer is something he calls the second home. He defines this as a living, breathing, earthly heaven created by the Life Yuan community. It's an actual physical place where a group of people have explicitly agreed to live completely selflessly. This isn't pitched to some distant pipe dream. It's presented as an active, functioning prototype of paradise on Earth, where all these theories are actually put into daily practice.
And the reported realities of living there, especially over a specific 3-year period he mentions, are pretty striking. We're talking about a harmonious community entirely devoid of locked doors at night. If you drop something on the road, it just stays there untouched, because theft simply does not exist. Interpersonal conflicts are incredibly rare, the environment is flourishing, and remarkably, illness rates are said to actually decline. It's a really bold claim of a society completely cured of our modern anxieties. Now, to give this radical communal ideal some serious historical weight, he grounds it in ancient philosophy. He quotes Confucius saying, "The great way runs, the world is for all." By bringing in classical thought on universal sharing, he links this modern commune to a deeply revered tradition. It basically shows that dedicating yourself to the community over the individual isn't just some new fringe idea, but a foundational, historical, great way.
Within this second home, operations fall under what is called God's way, and this introduces a truly fascinating paradox. The individual officially owns absolutely nothing. yet simultaneously possesses everything. How? Well, because you've given up your claim to personal property. The entire wealth, resources, and support system of the community become yours to utilize. You lose the heavy burden of ownership, sure, but you gain the freedom of total access to everything.
So how does a person actually achieve this freedom and escape the pain of that selfish life? He lays out a strict 3-step progression. Step 1, you absolutely must hand your life over to God's way, aligning yourself with the natural order of the community. Step 2, dedicate your daily efforts selflessly, without seeking to own the results of your labor. And Step 3, immediately stop all arguing, fighting, and competing with others. Just stop. To really sell this utopian vision and make it appealing, Xu asks us to imagine a hypothetical scenario. What if you had the ultimate, carefree lifestyle? I want you to envision a life so perfectly serviced and protected that it easily surpasses the wildest dreams of a traditional millionaire. It's a very clever pivot, moving from abstract philosophy straight into the tangible, luxurious benefits of living in the second home. Just take a look at this massive utopian laundry list of amenities. On the material side, literally everything is covered. You live in a beautiful villa with personal chefs, cleaners, drivers, and doctors taking care of you. But the emotional and social support is even more radical. There are no bosses to report to, the heavy burden of caring for aging parents or educating your kids, handled entirely by the community. You're even provided with dozens of affectionate soulmates to converse with, which aims to entirely cure human loneliness.
So here's the multi-million-dollar question. What is the financial cost for an individual to get access to all these luxurious material and emotional amenities? The cost is absolutely zero. You do not pay a single cent to the people cooking your food, cleaning your home, or providing companionship. This zero represents the complete and total removal of money and financial transactions from daily human interaction, which, in his worldview, is the ultimate root of worldly suffering anyway.
At this point, you might be wondering, okay, if I'm not paying for anything, what exactly is required of me? Who's scrubbing the floors? Well, instead of agonizing over a paycheck or trying to appease a demanding boss, residents simply perform whatever communal tasks they actually enjoy and are naturally capable of doing. There is no forced labor. You contribute to the community purely through avenues that bring you joy, creating this self-sustaining loop of willing, happy contribution.
But if this earthly heaven exists, why isn't everyone just rushing to join? Well, the texts warn that humanity is held back by deeply ingrained barriers. We are trapped by thousands of years of traditional consciousness. We cling so desperately to familiar safety in our comfort zones. We basically refuse to let go of our old selfish habits. And because of this deep-seated fear, we lose our natural human ability to explore new, wonderful ways of living.
To explain the massive psychological shift required to break through these barriers, he uses a powerful, almost jarring quote, "Death is the root of life." Now, he's not talking about physical death here. Rather, he means your traditional worldly mindset, your selfish ego, and your reliance on personal property. All of that must completely die first. Without the death of your old life, the hope for a new, heavenly life simply cannot take root. He frames this as an absolute, non-negotiable ultimatum. If the worldly heart does not die, the heavenly heart cannot be born. You literally cannot have it both ways. You can't hold on to your old, selfish life, hoarding personal wealth and nursing your paranoias, and simultaneously expect to enter this utopia. It demands a complete and total surrender of the self to the collective whole.
We'll wrap up this explainer with a final, really provocative question posed directly to you. Will you stubbornly cling to your current painful lifestyle out of fear? It's definitely a profound thought to sit with. Do you find Life Chanyan founder Xu Feng's radical vision of total selflessness inspiring, or do you ultimately prefer the familiar, even if flawed, comforts of a traditional life? Thanks so much for exploring this fascinating philosophy with us today.